Hey guys, it's Pillow King here. Back with another deck profile, but this one is actually going to be from the new set, a deck called Dual Avatars. That's the TCG name at least, and yeah, like I said, it's from the new set. It's a new fusion deck, and I love fusion decks. They're literally my favorite kind of deck. And the art on just about like a lot of these cards is really nice. Like when you just look through all of them, like look at that, it looks insane. Look at all this. But yeah, so. Let's just go through it real quick, and then I'll just show you some stuff from when I was testing one of the better ending boards. It's a little underwhelming as of right now, but I think with more support, the deck is going to get a lot better and see a lot more play. So for the only main deck monsters we have now we have Yui, if that's how I'm saying it right, and I'm not Coke. Oh, I'm gonna call it Fist and Kicks. So for Fist, his effect is you can target one Soten monster or one Dual Avatar monster, and if you do, add one Dual Avatar on a spell from your deck. And then a secondary effect, if a face-up Dual Avatar fusion monster you control that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as a material is destroyed by battle by card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this to your hand. So for kicks, during your opponent's turn, if a face-up Dual Avatar monster you control, other than this one, is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can destroy one Soten monster you control. And if you do special summon one fusion, the Dual Avatar fusion monster from your extra deck, which is really crazy, in all honesty. Lets you get out to level 6, and he's a pop, which is really nice. And then if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Dual Avatar trap from your deck to your hand, which is really nice. And both of them are obviously a hard once per turn. This is really good. The deck started off strong with 2 searchers right off the bat. This one is like an awkward searcher, but the good part about it is he can kill any card, so he can actually kill himself too with it. So he can destroy himself in regards to it and add the spell, which is really nice. Or he can pop token, and this deck loves tokens. And it also lets us play fusion deployment. And this card was just overlooked because it was a little too specific, but now it's pretty good with this deck. So basically, reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck, and special summon from your hand or deck one of the fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on that card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except for fusion monsters. Turn you activate this, which doesn't really make a big difference because most of the time we're only summoning fusion monsters anyway. But basically, reveal one of these two, and you can get Fister Kicks. And then for the spells, this is actually a secret rare in the set. This is the best spell they have right now. So you just card one card, and if you do special summon as many of their tokens as possible, and then you can fusion summon up to twice, basically. They are destroyed during the end phase, but you're going to, most of the time, use them all. So what makes that really relevant is that you can either use this guy or this guy to make one of these. Most of the time, if you're going turn 1, you're going to make this, because it's a monster negation, which is pretty good. And it's also Giant Trunade as well if you're going second, which is pretty good. He's a little small, but that doesn't really matter. But both of the other ones, the Fist and Kicks fusion, you can actually just make with 2 Soten monsters, so you can just use 2 tokens, which is pretty cool as well. And this one, if you control a fusion monster, that was special summon from the extra deck using an effect monster, basically if you summoned one of these, or if you used him or her to summon one of them, you can negate the target one face-up monster special summon from the extra deck and negate it. So it's pretty good. But yeah, then we have their quick play spell, which isn't that awful either. So you can target one Soten monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. So you can target any card, spell, trap, monster, field spell, anything, which is really nice. And then if you destroy a fusion monster, you can either draw one card or banish one from the grave, which isn't that bad. But really just getting rid of a token for free and popping a card is pretty nice. In all honesty, you could play one of this card, but right now 2 has been working out really well for me, and I'm going to keep it just as an extra disruption for now. And then we have 2 as 1, and I think it kept the name. I don't really remember, but basically on activation it searches either one of the monsters, so you can search Fist or Kicks from your deck. And then if you control a Dual Avatar effect monster, you can summon one of their tokens, and then you're locked in the fusions for that turn. So usually, it's nice to open the field spell in this. You activate field spell, or you don't even need to open them both. Activate field spell, search this, and then that's it. Obviously, if you didn't open it, but if you opened them, you could search this. So you can make the good fusion. But you know, you go activate field spell, search this, normal summon, effective field spell, get a token, and then use this effect, pop the token, search this, and that lets you do your fusion summon you play as well. Other than that, you know, this deck is just free token generation throughout the whole thing. I'm playing 2 of the Return, so basically it's just it's a Call by the Grave, but you know, obviously it's not a continuous trap. You target 1 in the grave, special summon it. Then, if you special summon a Soten dual avatar monster with an original of 4 lower by this effect, you can summon a token as well, which is nice. And then this, during the main phase, you can banish 1 of the spell or traps from the grave, so you can banish, you know, this, or this, and you can apply its effect. So during your opponent's turn, ideally, you know, you want to have this and then this engrave, because it lets you set up a pop as well, which is really nice. And then for the fusions, so we have this guy, and he requires Fist, so we need him. And what he does is, if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. After damage calculation, if this card attacked, you can return 1 monster your opponent controls to the hand. So, you know, you attack 1, bounce the other, which is kind of cool. And then when your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect that targets this card in the field while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, you can negate that activation. On this one, he's the better one, which I don't see why people aren't playing this one. So for one, the first time each of the fusions would be destroyed by battle, it is not, which is really nice. So it lets you keep them alive. And then once per turn, you can return all spell and traps your opponent controls to the hand. When a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field while you control 2 or more fusions, you can destroy the monster. So it unfortunately doesn't negate, but it does destroy the monster, which is nice. So it does get rid of some cards as well. But this one, you're playing 3 of both fusion because they're the easiest to make, because they both require 2 of the dual avatar cards. So this one, if this card is special summon, you can target 1 attack position monster and destroy it. That's be your opponent's, obviously. And unfortunately, he can't attack that turn, but a lot of time you're going to be making this during your opponent's turn anyway, so it doesn't matter. And while you control a Soten fusion monster that was fusion summoned using effect monster as material, everybody on your field, well, all dual avatar monsters, gains 300 attack and defense. And this guy, it's the defensive version. Unfortunately, she's a little lower attack but higher defense. So 2 Soten monsters, of course. So if a Soten fusion monster you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy 1 Soten monster you control instead. During the main phase, if you control a Soten fusion monster that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as a material, you can quick effect target 1 face-up monster that was special from the extra deck and maybe its effects at the end of the turn. So she's pretty nice. You know, deck's pretty standard. I wanted to play enough hand traps so I wouldn't be really worried about opening 1. I want to at least open 1. So we're playing, you know, triple Nibiru, obviously. 3 of all the main deck monsters we can. We don't have enough right now. 2 Ash, 2 Veiler. I'm not exactly a fan of drawing triple Ash, and I've seen it enough. 3 Fusion Deployment because this card's bonkers for the deck. Rhoda because they're warriors, of course. Terraforming because their field spell is really good. 3 of the good spell. 2 of the other spell, the quick play spell that pops. Triple Supply Squad. This works a lot better with the deck than I thought at first. You know, you always essentially want to see this and this together. Drawing a card is really free. So, you know, yeah. 3 of their search or field spell, because why wouldn't you play 3 of a search spell? Triple Imperm. Double the return. I'm only playing 2 because I'm playing Trap Trick, but you can cut 1 out if you really want to. This card is good, but in a lot of cases, you'll set Soden, like the Soden's Duty or Imperm before you set this, but you know, this does come up a lot. And then, you know, 3 of the Soten's Duty, so you can banish this infusion summon during your opponent's turn, and triple Trap Trick, so you can see this card in case you don't have a way to directly search it. And then we're playing 2 of each fusion. You can cut both of these down to 1 if you really want to find more space for other cards. But I like 2 of these. They've come up a lot, so right now I'm keeping them in. And then you play triple of each because you're going to go through these really quickly, and you can also XYZ them. Right now I'm only playing 2 XYZs because I'd rather just kill them with fusions, and most of the time these do more than the job. You don't really need XYZs, but for your rank 6, for this guy, you were playing the new Jinzo guy. So basically he's Big Eye for a rank 6, and you take him to the end phase, but it can't activate its effects or declare an attack. And, if a trap card is on the field, though, you can tribute one monster, and if you do destroy a face-up card on the field, which is kind of neat. That doesn't came up, but the big eye effect obviously has. And we play one Pallades because it's one of the best rank 5s you have as of yet. And then we play Access Code, Unicorn, and Phoenix for our generic Link staples as well. Yeah, that's basically for the main deck. Let me just show you what I was messing with. So this is one of the better ending boards that we want to end on. So apparently I was going versus a mutant guy, but I think he ends up scooping when he goes against the board, which I was like, okay, sure. So we go ahead and do fusion deployment, get up to level 3, activate Supply Squad, normal summon him, pop himself, search the card, draw one card. We end up drawing a second copy. We pitch the Reborn. I probably should have pitched a Calling in hindsight. But we go ahead and fusion summon our 2 times. We set 2 and pass. So we have an so right here, he surrenders, but we have the monster destruction. We have the negation for the extra deck monster. And we also have Imperma Trap Trick. So during his turn, we're going to be fusion summoning, popping a card, negating a face-up card, most likely destroying a monster, and we have Imperma as well, which is really nice. But we also have this for follow-up if we don't even need to fusion summon, which is also nice. So then I did go against this Phantom Knight player. Yeah, so I did go against this Phantom Knight player on regards to it. He opens double droplets, which is wild. We go to normal summon, search our trap card, which is nice. We go ahead and activate the fusion spell, discarding Supply Squad because we couldn't really trigger it. And we go ahead and fusion summon, make the basic board of the pop and the negate. We go ahead and set 1 pass so we can fusion summon on their turn. I did do a small misplay here, but he does droplet, so he can get rid of the monster destruction card. He makes Cherubini. So right here, what I was supposed to do is, we'll see. And so I go ahead and fusion summon, and I fusion summon for the red guy. I didn't need, for one, I definitely was not supposed to fusion summon that off. I was actually supposed to just keep that on the board, because I thought he was, I was under the assumption that he wasn't once per turn, and that was my bad. But the other thing was, what I was really supposed to do, just for one, fusion summon the 1, and then pitch the Veiler as on the same chain link. So Veiler resolves, negating the Cherubini, of course. So then he's stuck with 1 card in hand, which you see his droplets and does nothing. But instead, what ended up happening was I attempted to pop it with my 1 pop, and then he just gets rid of the Brigadine and keeps playing. And the game lasted longer than it really needed to. Fortunately, on my bad, on my part. But he keeps playing. He does Phantom Knight shenanigans. He makes Bardiche. I go to Veiler that. Yeah, there really wasn't much to do from here. He banishes Search Fog Wave, sets and passes. I go ahead and switch my boy to attack mode. We're going to go in and I did attempt to use the effects like a Bounce Fog Blade, but he ends up negating it. But I go into battle phase and beat over the Bardiche and punch for 27 and pass. He did draw a beer, which was thankfully, but he just Ragged Gloves and Foolishes, and that's about it. So this duel was a little bit more unfortunate. And I try to be more realistic with my testing and stuff like that. That's why, I'll show you duels that weren't as fortunate, because at the end of the day, I like to be realistic with all my decks. So this hand was not as good, definitely, but so he goes ahead and extravagances, summons the Jew, and then I Veiler, and then he just beats over and passes. This was one thing that was supposed to happen here that didn't, and this is something on Ed Pro's fault. I was supposed to do this, and summon this back, search a trap card, summon a token during the end phase, but for some reason it didn't allow me, so I did it on my turn, obviously. I go ahead and search my trap card. I couldn't really do much past this, but I did draw the spell, so I went in and popped a token, popped the Jew, and punched him in the face for 800. In hindsight, I should have destroyed the set card, but he draws in a pre-prep, and I'm just like, oh, I'm dead. But I do have another Soden's Duty, which is nice, and I have 1 set, so I'm definitely not dead. But it's just unfortunate. So it summons this, and I'm like, what in the trash is this? So apparently you summon it, pay 2k, and it'll blow up the board, but it didn't really do too much. So I end up just setting Trap Trick in Soden's Duty and passing. So he goes and shuffles that back, gets the Ritual Spell, normal summons a Jew, searches, and then I go in and I chain that. I'm not sure why I chained it there. I think I wanted to make sure that my card dissolved and such, so I brought it back before he had the chance to even get the fusion guy out, and then I go ahead and chain trap trick on the resolution of that, and then he just beats over my guys and passes. And then I believe I top deck pretty well here. Yeah, top deck the field spell, which is insane. Search the level 4 guy, normal summoned him. I summoned the token off the field spell. My guy pops the token, searches the fusion spell, so I summon all the tokens, get the boys out, pitch the Nibiru. Let me proceed to fusion summon for the level 8 big fusion, and then we went ahead and summoned this so we can get the pop. And we just beat over, set past. Fortunately, we can't really attack with him directly, but I had forgotten. I thought it just said attack in general, so we attacked over. But he ends up scooping because he can't really do much. Yeah, as the deck stands right now, it's not meta. To be upfront, I think it's very good. It's not meta. It's really fun. And if you like fusion decks, I recommend giving it a try. Like, the only card that is going to be a little more difficult to get your hands on is the Sotin's Calling, and I would recommend picking up this core anyway in case the deck gets a bunch of good support. But right now it has a lot of good cards. I think it just needs maybe some better fusion monsters, or some more main deck monsters as well. The weaknesses for the deck are obviously not being able to access, for one, the Calling. Not accessing with this, you only get to really play. You play a lot of it, really enough. Like, you play 3, 6, 8 copies of this in this, so you can get to either of them pretty easily. It's just, in some unfortunate hands, you're not going to really be able to draw them, as you saw. I only opened this, and he just searches a trap card, and that doesn't really do much, unfortunately. But I think the deck is solid as an overall, and hopefully, it gets more support as we keep going and stuff, because it looks like a lot of fun. Plus, it gets the boys out, and if you know me, I love getting the boys out. So, but yeah, if you want to see any other decks, definitely let me know. I'm always open to making videos about them. But I will be basically probably going through every deck that either got support or is coming out in Phantom Rage. I'm working on a mutant video right now, but that deck is just so bad. I'm gonna be honest, it's hard to make a video. It's really fun though. I love fusion decks, so I'm gonna still try to make a build for it. I love UA, so I'm already making a build for that. I already have one, but I'm still trying to make a video on that. And then I also have the Phantom Knight deck, which I'll be going back with. And you should be seeing a bunch of IRL deck profiles coming from me within the next 2 weeks once my case gets in and stuff like that, and I open everything. And if you guys are looking for anything sealed, whatever I have extra, I'm always getting rid of. So you can definitely leave a comment down below and let me know what you're looking for, and I'll see if I can save you guys some. But yeah, that's it. Take it easy.